welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. And there's also a Coffee, Patreon, Crypto and Thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Jardo, Click OK, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
How are you?
Morning. Good morning.
I'm alright. I've got a fondness for paying my mortgage, so I've spent all evening buying microphones, which I didn't really intend to do, but given how long the book's taken to actually produce and get out and get sold, needs must, so I spent till about, I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock, purchasing things off eBay to then resell them, flip them as you guys in America call it. So yeah, if you do see a few more microphone videos with me with a very tired face, that's why. On the upside, the statistics for YouTubing videos has gone up, which I'm very delighted about. I told my wife about it this morning. It's like the YouTube stats have gone up, which means there's slightly less pressure on me to sell microphones, which is always nice. Now, as the case may be, there is a limited amount of pressure that now comes my way from our opponents in terms of the discussion, which is to say, I wasn't kidding. What was it, a month ago, when I said it's all over, the debate's finished? I wasn't joking. Now it's just a case of figuring out where our opponents are deceiving us, either through stupidity or through rhetoric that's widely available to said stupid muppet that might be presenting you with information under the suggestion that it's demonstrating a calculation of sphericity where there are no measurements. Now, my I don't want to call it disappointment because I'm indifferent to it, but let's just use that term. My disappointment in regards to the lack of Earth curve measurements is kind of irrelevant now that we've got flat Earth measurements. You know, globe measurements that are hidden in corrections and calculations, I don't care about. Like, it doesn't really change anything in the argument. It just means that we've got to be convinced of some voodoo curve that has been engineered in and then calculated back out again. And we just don't understand how fundies with a sphere belief do such things. Go ahead.
Formulas.
Formulas? Did you interrupt the middle of that sentence to say one word? Thank you so much, Neil.
Well, they're saying that the formulas, work on globe, not flat.
Don't give a crap. I mean, we've got measurements now. You know, surface level measurements of flight level. You know, these are axiomatically tied to a flat Earth. I'll say it into camera every single time it comes up. But that's a done deal. If you want to tell me that there's some self-correcting calculation going on, I don't care. Yeah. Oh, I don't understand how a gyro works. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Do you think I don't understand what sea level is? Yeah, I do. Do you think I don't understand what surface level is? Yeah, I do. What about flight level? Yeah, I understand. I don't need any help with any of this stuff. What's that? I don't understand how the Earth curve was self-corrected. Right. You can bore the tits off next, man, I'm afraid. I've lost interest. Earth's measured flat. We checked.
Well, how do gyroscopes work if there's no rotation, Nathan?
You're talking about no rotation. Gyroscopes remain fixed in free space. That's their useful property. So to try and argue, when it comes to this, right, there's a reason Bob Nodell got used as a citation. It's because it's absolutely batshit insane to assert that a gyro does anything than a gyro does. So if you need to suggest that gyros drift, then you're going to get a flat earther to do it. Because at some point, you're going to need to assert that the violation of gyroscopic motion is being corrected for. And when you come to cite somebody for that, you won't cite anybody from avionics because they're using gyroscopic motion for its principal usefulness. Not because it drifts, having corrected for Earth curve. Who's that cited by? Bob Nodell? That's who we got last time. It always seemed so strange that we'd have Bob being held up by the ballers. This doesn't seem right. There must be a reason for it. Yeah, of course there's a reason. Because you need gyros to drift. They don't. If they do, they're broken. But you'll get a flat earther to suggest that a 15 degrees an hour drift is occurring in gyro, so you can appeal to it when you need to say that the actual gyroscopic motion used in measurements is drifting. And then you appeal to Bob, won't you? Yeah, you guys, you can keep appealing to Bob Nodell and his drifting broken gyro. It kind of defies the principle of gyroscopic motion that's useful in avionics, though. Yeah? The ones that we've got the measurements with. You see, with them, we've just got flat Earth measurements, and it's a done deal. I don't need any help with anything else, thanks. Don't need Bob to show me his broken gyro. Drifting. It's not very much use if it drifts. Kind of defies the base principle of usefulness if it's drifting. It's because they don't. Or they wouldn't be useful anymore. Yeah? That simultaneously debunks any assertions that they're encountering Earth curve, because we'd notice. It being the measurements of a flat Earth that we've got, and it isn't. So as I say, you can keep boring the tits off next man, telling him about how he doesn't understand. Me, I don't care. We've checked. It's flat. That's how it's measured. Earth is measured flat. It's just boring. It's boring now. It was exciting because there was a seeming debate going on for the last 10 years. Now you go, what are you going to do? You're going to tell me that we haven't got a sea level? You're going to tell me that we don't fly surface level? You're going to tell me you don't measure locally flat? No, all we're going to get is people who think they're going to debunk me, telling me that I'm wrong, and then going and confirming what I do 1,000 times, like Simon Dan recently did. You can go around saying Nathan's wrong and we don't measure Earth flat. What are you going to do? Go out and measure elevation angles 1,000 times off a flat Earth? You can tell me that I'm wrong, and then you can go to Antarctica and measure elevation angle measurements to the sun for 24 hours, like on screen now. That's what you can do, because Earth was always and will always be measured flat. Nothing's going to change, and when society catches up with us, they'll be able to say, yeah, we always knew it was flat, just like it's measured, because it was always being measured flat. Nothing's ever changed. We've had about 300 years of stupid nonsense ball-shaped religion, but it'll soon go back to being flat like it was measured the whole time, because it was flat the whole time. Nothing changed in terms of Earth measurements for a ball belief. There was a lot of telling other people that they didn't understand. That's about it. Meanwhile, the debate that was created was an illusion of a debate, because the measurements were always and still will be flat once we're long dead. If you're a baller, if you're on the ball side of this, all you're doing is wasting the very precious little time that you have on the surface of this beautiful flat Earth that we all dwell atop. Why are you wasting your time to convince the world of a 300-year-old church-created religious aspect of the nature of the stars created in a model to better predict where they'll be? And even then, the predictions weren't really helping much. You already had logged lights and their movements for a long time before heliocentrism came along. So it doesn't really serve that much purpose. It's just a control system that the church used. Now we've got the information age. You should know better. You should just be able to look at how Earth's measured. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people out there that want to convince you don't understand how ball-shaped these flat Earth measurements should be had they have not been corrected. That's what you'll hear. Now, me, I'm bored of that crap. 10 years of seeing how flat Earth gets measured every single time, and now the balls relying on those flat Earth measurements means I don't have any interest in these idiots telling me I don't understand. Get a life. You've only got one, and you're only here for a very limited amount of time. If you spend your entire time convincing the world of a religion that was already in place when you got here, then you've wasted your time on Earth. Don't waste your time. Flat, we measured, it's been checked. Don't need to worry about it anymore. If you're a baller worrying about us being convinced of some stupid nonsense that you think we don't understand, why? If you know it's a ball, you'd just be getting on with it. You're not. You're here fighting the flat Earth with us. You should know it's not a ball. Otherwise, you wouldn't be fighting for it to be a ball. There's no need to fight for things that are absolutely unequivocally true. unless you've got somebody actively working against that fact. Now, that's us, not you. But I'm indifferent now and know that the measurements show it's flat. So what difference is it going to make? If I keep preaching this and the Western world religion of a sphere, Earth, and a sky vacuum remains prevalent, then you could consider my efforts a waste of time. But for the fact it's measured flat anyway, so who cares? Literally, what difference does it make if I convince people it's flat? That's preaching to the converted. It's measured flat. You can't measure it and you'll soon find out how flat it is. Yeah? So I don't need to preach to the converted either while I'm telling you idiots off for being numpties, wasting your life, converted ballers being your target audience. Me, I'm saying, once you know, you suddenly realise how stupid it all was. It was always measured flat. Nothing was going to ever change those measurements. No amount of bull belief telling you how you don't understand was ever going to change Dan saying, yeah, okay, it's locally surveyed flat. Yeah, it is. That's never going to change. The elevation angles used to create the ball that Dan measured 1,000 times, they were flat when they were measured, alleged to be measured, 2,000 years ago. They were still measuring a flat Earth then, and all the way from there till now, we've had nothing but flat Earth measurements. What you got? What you got if you're a baller? Really, think about it for a second. What have you got to tell me it's okay to measure Earth flat and then say it isn't? That's what you've really got. Because when you numpties on the ball side of this seeming discussion, the illusion of debate, can go out and look for yourselves too, and you'll find it's flat too. Then you'll encourage your audience to measure 1,000 elevation angles to the sun, confirming 1,000 times how flat Earth will be measured. Because that's how it's measured. Like I say, what I do from here forward kind of seems unimportant. I mean, the book's coming out, and I'll document the 10 years of research that's got us to this point. But moving forward in debate, there really isn't one. You know, there's not anything I can do about that. You know, my apathetic, indifferent nature can't change. What can I do? Create a debate where Earth's measured flat in every single measurement? I can't create a debate from that. The whole point of the last 10 years was making it seem like there still was one. But like I say, we're in the information age. This is your fault. You don't realise Earth's measured flat, then that's on you. You're the stupid one. You're the ignorant one. You failed in a world that has abundant information. You can check. It's all well and good me saying, it's flat, we checked. Why haven't you checked? You didn't have the tenacity to go and actually check how Earth was measured, so you just decided to fight the flat Earth instead. That's kind of sad. Be like Dan. People should look up to Simon Dan. He decided that he was going to check how Earth was measured, so he got 1,000 participants to go out and measure this. Elevation angle measurements to the sun. I mean, 2 straight lines meeting at a vertex. If it's an elevation angle, elevation's off the surface, level. And that's precisely what Dan measured. A flat Earth. 1,000 times. So did I need to do anything? No. Without even trying, Dan went out and measured Earth flat 1,000 times. He's a baller. So what's he doing? Measuring Earth. How's it measured? Flat. Was it always measured like that? Yeah, according to Dan, he's repeating an experiment from 2,000 years ago, right? Okay. Well, if it's a 2,000-year-old experiment that needs a flat Earth elevation angle to be made 1,000 times, then you're just measuring Earth flat 1,000 times. Now, that wouldn't have changed with my interjection, would it? Now, I didn't have to encourage Dan to go out and measure Earth. He just measured Earth flat, didn't he? So what can you do? You need to convert these ballers. Ask them how they measure Earth. And then they'll give you the 2 thumbs up like Dan did and say, yeah, on a local scale, we do measure Earth flat. Local trig's okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's us measuring Earth flat, though, isn't it? Now, the quicker everyone wakes up to these fundamental facts of Earth measurement, the quicker we can always get to that stage, not always, all get to that stage, where we go, yeah, we always knew it was flat. No need to ridicule people for believing it to be flat. No need to believe in it being a ball based on the flat Earth measurements anymore. We just always knew it was flat. Are you one of those old school religious ball believers? Didn't you know it was flat all along? Bless. We did. We checked. So it's measured. So housekeeping becomes different. Housekeeping becomes any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge, formerly known as Earth curve horizons, that are based mathematically on surface level measurement. Because they are. Earth curve geometric sphere edge horizons, formerly Black Swan argument. If Earth's a sphere, radius 3959 miles, then every distance to horizon measurement can be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the observer's measured elevation off surface level. To measure a flat Earth to assert that boats and buildings are blocked by Earth curve. So it's like Neo in the Matrix, you know, when he's doing that, just block him without even thinking about it. Punches come into his face and he can just turn away while it's happening because he doesn't care. Yeah, that's me. Yeah? So what are you going to do? Tell me that I'm wrong? Dan tried it. What's he do? He's going to perform ball jitsu and beat himself in the face 1,000 times with flat Earth elevation angle measurements off surface level. They're going to measure surface level, every last one of you. When you actually get down to the nitty-gritty of looking at what we're telling you, we're not asking you, we're not debating it with you, we're telling you Earth's measured flat. Now, you might be kind enough for us to present some of these measurements to you, like pitch data. What are you going to do? Tell us that there's calculated sphere disappearing? Yeah, that's kind of in contradiction to the actual measurements that are on paper in black and white, though. And I'll just go with the measurements used to investigate death. If I'm going to need to appeal to anything, I already knew that we were surveying it locally flat, as Dan's affirmed to many of his audience. Now, like I say, that won't change the algorithmic love that Dan's afforded. Because Dan's saying, yeah, it's okay to measure Earth flat on a sphere. Yeah, because he adds the contradiction in terms that affirms his sphere allegiance. He's allowed to mop up all of the moderate views we, Dan and I, are allowed in this tiny dark corner of the internet that he and I reside in. Now, that tiny little pie that he and I are offered, he gets the lion's share of the pie, and I get the scraps that are left over. But we're both in a dark little tiny corner of the internet, aren't we? Dan appreciating that Earth's measured flat, and me appreciating that Earth's flat, without adding on a disclaimer about how ball-shaped it is after I've measured it flat, like Dan just did. Yeah, I don't add on the disclaimer, so I'm worthy of ridicule and Dan's worthy of praise. He's measuring Earth flat and saying that proves a ball, so he gets praise. Me, I say we measure Earth flat and then keep my mouth shut after we've made a measurement of a flat Earth, therefore I'm worthy of ridicule. Weird how the world works out, isn't it? My birthday tomorrow. Might have a day off. See how I feel. You're going to wish me happy birthday while I'm here? Happy birthday to you, Nathan. Oh, thank you. You're all so
It's
kind.
your birthday?
Tomorrow it is.
Happy birthday
for tomorrow.
Oh, thanks. I might do a show. I'll see how it goes. Summer holidays, so there's no classes on. So I'd have to be anywhere as far as I'm aware. Other than Kung Fu and the never-ending art lesson that was today. That I was an hour late for because of a car accident of 200 yards ahead of us. Very annoying listening to how funky and trendy my daughter's Akmals are, or whatever they are. No, not Akmals. Whatever Adam sent them. I've forgotten what they're called. Adam sent them some toys. But dangerously close to be getting called Uncle Adam. Because of all the stuff he sends my kids. Anyway, whatever he was, whatever he's Labubu's. That's it. My eldest daughter sat for an hour.
I've seen those. There's like a big thing for those now.
Yeah, well, I'd never heard of them, and then they arrived in the post as Adam was like, you know, your kids haven't got any Labubus. I was like, what's that? He's like, I'll send you some. Now that's it for the last however long they've been here, 10 days, say. It's all we hear about, non-stop talk of Labubu and how unique the Labubus are with their clothes that they're wearing, and how some of them are unique but not unique if you've got the same as someone else. You're like, oh my God, an hour of this in traffic I had. Anyway.
I seen something about they're being faked already by the Asian market.
Of course. Yeah, certain things that I see get sold on eBay, specifically the Shure SM58 microphone, which is just you just can't quite believe they get away with it. Like they 100% copy every aspect of the packaging and product, and then sell it for a third of the price. And you're like, how are they getting away with this? It's outrageous. Meanwhile, I'll sell something that's actually badged Sure, and I'll get some copyright bot, or the equivalent on eBay, come and say, you can't sell this, you're selling a fake. I'm like, it's got a Sure brand on it. It's literally a Sure product. Anyway, enough my moans. Hey, Eli.
Hello.
What you been up to?
Eli, you have any Labubu's?
What's that?
I just ignore him. It's a kid's toy. You're a man in your, mid to late 30s? I doubt you have any boo-boos.
They sell ones that hang in your car. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're for girls.
Oh, you said caboose?
The closest thing I can think of when we were kids is werebears. Do you remember werebears?
No, I go all the way back to Cabbage Patch Dolls. That's it.
Well, we had Garbage Pail Kids. Do you remember the Garbage Pail Kids?
Yes, I do remember that.
Well, the boo-boos are kind of like that. They've kind of got a grotesque face where they're looking like they're going to eat you.
Yeah, they're so ugly they're appealing, like the Rolling Stones.
Is that what it is? The Rolling Stones are so ugly they're appealing.
Yeah, that's what I heard some American girls say when they first hit. They're so ugly they're appealing.
Okay. Nothing to do with how good they sang. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, Mick Jagger sings good, huh? Okay.
Okay, well, I'm glad we did this. It's been emotional. So yeah, there's a little bit of a little... Go ahead, Neil.
To get it on topic, Captain Edgewise and Orminator have not shut up. So no matter what you bring them, they're telling you that Earth is curved.
Why are they telling me this?
Well, they're telling
measured flat
everybody
in
in
the
their little
measurements, though, isn't it?
chats.
But it's measured flat in the measurements. It's because they're wrong and they need to convince me they're right. When I'm telling them, I don't care. Keep your measurements. Oh, you haven't got any? They're just the flat ones. Oh, right. I don't understand how they've been corrected. No, I don't. I don't need to either. They're in black and white. They're measurements of the surface level and it's tied to the flight level. These two things are never going to change.
So 24-hour sun in Antarctica, it has nothing to do with us. It doesn't
Sure,
make
it does.
us in any way wrong, but for them it's a problem.
It makes us right. They're measuring Earth flat in Antarctica for 24 hours. So they're taking elevation angles to the sun for a full 24-hour period. So it's flat in all directions, according to their measurements.
I want to know what the problem is, because what I get here is, we dismiss the observation and the problem it causes and just it's measured flat. Well, what else can we say?
So dismiss the what problem that what causes?
It doesn't cause a problem for me.
It doesn't cause a problem for me either. I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, maybe there's some false dichotomy that they've set up that they're telling us should be a problem. Meanwhile, what about the flat Earth measurement that they measured? They think that there's a problem beyond the flat Earth measurement that they measured. It's not a problem at all. It's a joyous measurement of a flat Earth that they measured all day. Wonderful. So what's the question again?
Well, they want to whistle past that and get upset with us because we focus on it, because it demonstrates and proves that you've measured Earth flat. So that's annoying to them. And they're going to propose that it's a problem.
It's better if we ignore the 24 hours of flat Earth measurement made in Antarctica. It'd be better if we just take that flat Earth measurement as read and move past it like it never happened and start asking questions about how we can apply the flat Earth measurements to a ball or a ball Earth projection on a flat map. Then we can see if they work or not, rather than focusing on the very irritating flat Earth measurement we measured in the first place. All right. I mean, this is why I keep telling you, ballers, I'm not interested anymore. You, ballers, you can take the flat Earth measurement of the sun for 24 hours. It's called an elevation angle. They measured Earth flat for 24 hours. Yeah? That's where I duck out. Okay? You want to argue about how you calculate those flat Earth 24 hours of measurement? I don't care how you measure. After this point, you can do what you like with them. I don't care. Yeah? I'm done. I'm good. So we measured Earth flat and see you later. I'm off down the bar. See you later. What you want to argue about it, what we do with the flat Earth measurements in Antarctica, the angles that we took to the sun for a 24-hour period off a flat Earth, you want to argue about those, do you? Good for you, bless. Yeah? You have fun. Meanwhile, we measured Earth flat, and that's pretty much the end of this discussion. There never was a discussion. If there was, you wouldn't be measuring Earth flat now, would you? But you did. You measured it flat for a 24-hour period in Antarctica. So there never was a discussion. While you were pretending there was a debate, you were fixing to go down and measure it flat, and then you went down and measured it flat. Now you want to discuss how those flat Earth measurements get applied to a ball. I don't care. You know, you do what you like. It's good for you, though. Fun, fun, fun.
I find it funny that they cited Bob Nodell. Now they're citing Jiren. It says, yeah, our efforts are a waste of time with you. That much is true. Call us naive or hopeful. As Jiren said, he wasted his time. So they appealed to Bob Nodell, now Jiren. Isn't that a little strange?
Oh, bless. Is Jiren now your guru? Jiren says it isn't flat and he wasted his time. Oh, how nice. Does that mean you didn't measure it flat with elevation angles in Antarctica for 24 hours? Did Jiren specifically waste his time measuring Earth flat for a 24-hour period with those elevation angles? Did he waste his time with them? Oh, maybe you can appeal to it not being flat because Jiren said he wasted his time. Nathan says they measured Earth flat for 24 hours. Yeah, because they did. And then I disappeared, not really caring what you thought about that, because who cares? It's measured flat. So while you're suggesting there should be a debate about these flat Earth measurements, I'm saying they're flat Earth measurements, like elevation angles, like this on screen. Yeah? This would be the point you measure. This would be the equatorial plane. This would be the line to the sun. And that is what is measured. What's that? No, you measured it off this bit, off the tangential plane. So what, you measured it flat here on this flat square? So you measured it flat either way? Yeah, I know. Yeah, you have to. It's an elevation angle. There's no getting away from how flat Earth will be and was always and will always be measured. That's how it's measured. Of course it's measured flat. It's flat. That's why we measure it flat. What's that? But if we pretend that the little flat square that we're measuring on a flat Earth is translatable inside a ball, then we can pretend that the angle we measured off a flat Earth works in hell, in a ball. Yeah, you can do that. Meanwhile, what's that? Step 1, measure Earth flat. Yeah. Step 2, call the flat Earth we measured a tangential plane. You can do that all you like. Me, I'll just laugh at you. So step 1, measure Earth flat with elevation angles. But what's that? It wasn't really a flat Earth measured tangent plane. Yeah, that tangent plane is you measuring Earth flat and just believing that a single point that you've measured Earth flat with meets a ball dangling beneath it. We've been going through this for quite a number of years. We've even given it a name. It's called the Dingleberry Earth. Yeah? That's why it's got a title. But that would still be you measuring Earth flat and then believing that that flat Earth you just measured actually has a ball model dangling from it at a single point. A tangential plane. So we understand how you require Earth to be measured flat, and you'll never get away from it. I'll be here standing with my smug grin going, so step 1, measure Earth flat then. And you'll be looking back at me going, yes, Nathan, step 1, measure Earth flat, but that doesn't mean it's flat. What are you, an idiot? No, I'm not an idiot. Just so we're all clear, on step one, though. Step one, measure Earth flat. Well, Nathan, you haven't got any examples. You keep talking about this flat Earth measurement, but you never actually example any flat Earth measurements. You just keep saying Earth's measured flat without exampling Earth being measured flat. Au contraire. I refer to Simon Dan, who recently measured Earth flat 1,000 times with elevation angle measurements to the sun. Elevation being off the surface level, part of the surface level forming part of the angle, an unequivocal flat Earth measurement measured by my opponent Simon Dan. So I see Dan as my brother now. Same as Dave McKeegan, we're like brothers. We're like that. Dan and Dave and I. Because we all understand how flat Earth gets measured. Dave measured it in Antarctica with his elevation angles. Again, elevation meaning it's with respect to the surface. It's the height of it. Elevation, surface level. Part of the measurement being the surface level. It's one line of the angle that Dave measured to the sun for 24 hours. Dave measured Earth flat. So was he going down there debunking me? No. Dave McKeegan was going, like my brother in arms, down to Antarctica while I sat in the comfort of my own comfy home to measure Earth flat and confirm everything I say. Because there's absolutely no getting away from these measurements. This is how Earth gets measured. Flat. Every single time. So when you want to come at me and say, you've got no measurements, I'll go, nah, don't need to. You can go out and get some for me if you want, like Dan and Dave did. Do you want to go out and be my little lapdog? Go out and get me some flat Earth measurements, like a good little doggy. Like Simon Dan, the good little pooch, off getting me flat Earth measurements in the form of elevation angles to the sun 1,000 times. Thank you, Dan. There's a good little dog. What about Dave McKeegan, another good little doggy, off measuring elevation angle measurements in Antarctic off the surface level? Part of his angle. Flat. Can't not be. And he can appeal to my videos where there's diagrammatical examples where you've got curve angles that have still got a little degree measurement, proving that they're straight lines. Unless you're an idiot. Now I'm done dealing with idiots. They measure Earth flat, the idiots like Dan and Dave. Brothers. Yeah? And everybody else who ever measures Earth. They'll always be measuring Earth flat, because there's no exception to these facts. All you'll do is affirm what I'm telling you if you go out and try and debunk me. So do your worst. Go out and try and debunk me, and all you'll do is have me grinning down my camera like I'm doing about Dan 1,000 times. So good luck with your globe measurements. You'll come back with your flat Earth ones, and I'll point them out to you when you do. Alternatively, you can lie. You can claim that broken gyroscopes from Bob Nodell, the flat earther, are proving that Earth is drifting from gyroscopic motion. You can attempt to do that shit with your own, not with me, because I'll just laugh at you. I'm not interested. I don't want to hear it. I haven't asked you for any of this. We already checked. We've got the measurements. Earth's flat. Oh, by the way, thanks, Dan. Thanks for confirming just how flat Earth gets measured. Thanks, Dave, for measuring Earth flat. Really appreciate it.
I want to
Don't
know
forget
why
that-
they're appealing to Bob and Sharon. Why aren't they appealing to their higher gurus? You know, the ones higher up in the hierarchy. Why are you appealing to Sharon and Bob? It's the way we treated Sharon that he was finally convinced that Earth was a glob.
You can
The
have him.
measurements should have convicted him otherwise.
You can have him. You can have Jaron. Jaron can be your citation. Yeah? And I'll use Simon Dan. So you've got Jaron, and I've got Simon Dan. Who's measuring Earth? I mean, you can use Jaron's flat Earth elevation angles to the sun too, if you want, like Dave's. But who's actually measuring Earth? What's Jaron doing? Didn't he go out and measure a lake for a K, 1 kilometre or something? Some crap. Meanwhile, Dan has affirmed that 50 kilometres is surveyed flat. We're not talking about Jaron with his bits of cardboard. We're talking about surveyors. People who learn how to do their trade in university and then go and build things. Across a 50-kilometre surveyed section of Earth that's flat, says Simon Dan. You think I need to appeal to Jaron? No, I'm good. Do you think I need to appeal to Dan? Dan hasn't gone out and measured 50k flat. He's affirming that's factually how it's done, because it is. But the surveyors survey Earth flat, don't they? Yeah? Now, Dan, useful that he is, has gone out and measured elevation angles to the sun 1,000 times. And they're all flat, but we didn't need them. It was already surveyed flat before Dan did anything. So do we need Dan's 1,000 measurements? Do I need to make Dan my citation? No. Survey says flat. What's that? It's okay to measure Earth flat locally for 50k. That was Dan's rebuttal to me. It's okay to measure Earth flat for 50k. Yeah, it is. The thing is, you're not realising we don't need your frigging permission anymore. We don't care that you tell us it's okay to measure Earth flat because it's a really big ball. We can just look up how it's measured and surveyed and it's flat because that's how it's measured and surveyed, isn't it? Yeah? You numpties with the ball beneath, you need Dan and Jaron and Bob as your gurus because you're too dumb to go and actually look at the actual measurements of Earth. Now, Dan... can't believe I'm appealing to him in this regard, but it's true. He's actually gone out and measured, hasn't he? What did he measure? A flat Earth. So well done, Dan. You actually did some measurements. And it came back flat. Every single one of Dan's measurements, all 1,000 of them, came back flat. There weren't any exceptions. Now, like I say, I don't need to appeal to this shit that Dan did. He's a pathetic twat on YouTube. We've got surveyors, professionals who are paid to measure Earth and build things. Not Dan. What did Dan the wanker achieve? Did he achieve anything? What came of his measurements? Right, I'll wait. Tell me what came from them.
Well, what they say is if you're saying you're measuring Earth flat, they don't work.
Oh, well, the surveys don't work over a 50k distance that Dan's admitting to. Yeah, I don't need to appeal to Dan's admission in this regards. That's how it's measured. Earth, that is. When they survey it. Now, we're in a perceived argument where it matters whether or not Dan appreciates the fact I'm pointing back out to him after he's highlighted how flat Earth gets measured by surveyors. But there isn't a need for this. I don't care what Dan says anymore. Who cares whether a Dan, the science scam man, appreciates how flat Earth gets measured? I mean, he's admitting it to his audience and then disclaiming how ball-shaped it is. Now, if you're a fan of doublespeak, okay, good for you if you like Simon Dan and you like doublespeak. But you don't have to read much between the lines. There aren't any lines to read between. Yeah, we measure Earth flat for 50k because normal trig's okay, negligible curvature, says Dan. Now, that might be palatable to a ball believer as some apologetics for the flat Earth that's measured. But I don't need Dan to confirm how flat it gets measured. I don't need you ball-believing idiots, to argue with me about how flat Earth gets measured. Nothing you do or debate about will change how Earth gets measured. And when you start looking at those measurements, you might start appealing to how the flat Earth measurements prove a globe. Again, I'll use Dan for my reference in this regard. So what, measuring Earth flat 1,000 times with elevation angles proves a ball? That is very literally Dan's current rhetoric. Now, it's going to sting like a bitch when I turn around and say you're measuring Earth flat with those angles. Either you give them up as measurements, yeah? Every last one of them aren't measurements of Earth's surface, so useless then. Oh, they are measurements of Earth's surface level, part of the angle. So Earth's got a surface level then. It's part of the angle in your measurement that you measured off Earth. So you measured Earth flat then. Yeah, they did. Don't need it though. Yeah, it's already been surveyed. It's already been charted. It's already been mapped. All of it. The world, that is. It's already been dealt with flat. And nothing's changed. In spite of the church telling you that it was a ball for 300 years, they still continue to measure Earth flat all the way through the priests telling you it was a ball. Yeah? And they'll continue to tell you it's a ball from the pulpit of science. Their current religious bullshitters, like Tyson, will continue to tell you that Earth's a ball, while the people actually being made to measure Earth and paid to do so will continue to measure it flat. And Dan will continue to apologise and say it's only 50 kilometres as measured flat, though. And I'll continue to say, we're still measured flat then. Good.
Once you say sea level, it's game over.
Yes.
So I'm done with it. You want to keep fighting? You're only fighting with yourself because you're telling me sea level, but you're telling me Earth's curved. So you're in a contradiction. Go work that out.
Yeah, you work that out. I don't need to. I understand at a basic level how, when looking at the measurements of Earth with respect to surface level and the flight level, how that can only mean one thing. It only means one thing. It can only be one thing, and it is only one thing. It's flat. Earth measurements show it. Now, you can beg me to understand how there's a correction for a missing Earth curve that defies the axiomatic principles measured. You can ask me to do that all day long, and I'll just ignore you from now on. Don't care. You don't understand how gyros actually drift. No, they don't. They do, they drift. Bob Nodell showed it. Really? Show it me in this NTSB measured data off Earth. Well, it's not in there. Right? They get rid of it, they calculate it out. Fuck off. You're an idiot. Yeah, I'm done dealing with idiots. Yeah, if you can't read a simple graph and understand a basic principle of surface level, then I just don't want to talk to you. You don't understand how surface level's level. No, it bends. Well, how can parallel eye level be achieved then? You can't. How can you fly straight and level with respect to it? You can't. How can you be parallel in the air with respect to sea level, measured with altimeters? You can't. So, axiomatically, Earth must be flat, or flight doesn't work. Flight works, therefore Earth's flat. And I don't need to put it in a logical syllogism. It's described in the flights with flight level. They ain't mucking around. It's right there on the graph. Flight level.
Have we worked out how much drop there'd be in 50 kilometres, Nathan?
How much drop?
He said it. He stated it would be used as a flat plane in 50 kilometres. I've worked it out to 640 feet.
But why? Dan says we measure Earth flat for 50k, and your response to that is to work out how much Earth curve we haven't got. Why?
That's what they tell us we should have.
No, he didn't. Dan told us we measure Earth flat for 50k. That's what he told us.
Yes, but
Yes.
curve calculators state 640 feet drop.
Okay, so in the calculation, Brian, the first thing you do is measure what?
Hold on, I've got to make coffee.
I'll tell you. You measure your height off surface level. And in principle, mathematically, it's tied to eye level. Here it is on screen. See where it says surface level? You need that to measure your height off it. And you see where it says eye level? Axiomatically, that means you cannot bend surface level. Or parallel eye level for the maths that's going to give you a dip angle is not possible. So therefore, we are measuring surface level when we assert how much Earth curve isn't present when Dan, the scam man science communicator, suggests that there's a 50k being measured flat when surveyors calculate Earth. Meanwhile, surveyors measure Earth flat, and that's actually what occurs. How much a measurement of surface level when calculating a dip correction from eye level running parallel with surface level for your height measured off it would infer that there's a distance to a geometric horizon obscuring your view at 1.22 times the square root of the measured height off surface level, doesn't mean I'm going to tell Dan how much he should be claiming Earth curve gets in the way when he, in no uncertain terms, apologises for how flat Earth is measured by surveyors. My job is not to explain how much Earth curve there should have been. That's a feast of nonsense. That's something I want to brace against, Brian. Why would I go out of my way to explain how much Earth curve there should have been there? No, we just measure it flat, says Simon Dan and the surveyors. And the surveyors are measuring it flat for 50k because it's flat. That's how they're measuring it. So there's no question of how much Earth curve there should be on the flat surface level that you'd measure your height off to put it through these maths, to then suggest how much Earth curve there would have been if I can take it as read that the point in the distance that's realistically an optical dissolution point is actually a surface level derived from maths that required Earth to be flat when I measured my height off it. It's absurd.
Yeah, who cares what they should have? They don't, because Earth is flat.
It's not a should-have scenario. Mathematics like this on screen, that's begging the question, proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve maths, do not dictate the distance to the geometric horizon. You can't calculate your height off a surface level with an actual measurement and suggest that your height measurement off surface level, axiomatically tied to a parallel eye level, means that there's a point below the surface level that's blocking your view. No. Earth's measured flat for these maths.
Morning, guys.
What's up, Choco?
Who you?
We've been disciplined.
What does he suggest happens after 50 kilometres then?
Well, after we've measured Earth flat for 50k? Who cares?
Yeah.
You measure Earth flat regardless. If you want to do it in navigation terms, you can draw up much bigger areas of equal elevation that are also measured flat, like Simon Dan did when he measured the sun. So you can draw up much bigger areas of flatness. But in terms of what Dan is prepared to admit to, it's 40k. There's much bigger surveys than 50, 60k. But that's all Dan's prepared to. I don't care what Dan's prepared to commit to. Earth's measured flat when we survey it. The fact that Dan will admit to 40k, well, so what? Does it mean that it's measured any other way? No.
What would they do? Well,
I thought he said 50.
What would they tell us? Oh, it's going to be flat.
Your
It'll be
line's
flat
a
over
train
there,
wreck.
too.
Chocolate, speak up.
Sounds pretty good.
Shout
I
out.
think what Chocolate was saying is, sorry, Nathan.
No, you go ahead. And then I'll shout out the super chat after.
I think what Chocolate was trying to get to was the next man down after the 50k would also be measuring a further 50k locally, and then his mate 50k down from him would also be measuring the next 50k locally, and that's what Simon Dan his so-called experiment proved across the Earth with his 1,000 measurements. Everyone was local to themselves, measuring Earth flat. Great.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, but when you connect all those flat measurements, glob.
You have a globe. Please finish that statement. You collect all those. How many flat surfaces do you need to make a globe? That's literally what you just said.
Just go glob.
No, that's ludicrous. I mean, we're measuring it flat, and the suggestion that, well, if you've got a whole bunch of tangent planes connected together, it's got some semblance of familiarity where the argument's concerned. Just take the first statement as read. Yeah, again, read between the lines. In Simon Dunn's most recent reaction video, what is he actually saying? He's saying, Nathan says that we should just take it as measured. Nathan says it's flat, therefore it just is what we measure. Yeah, so let's break that down. Yes, that's correct, first of all, Dan. Well done. You've accurately represented my position, which is nice. Nathan says it just is what we measure. Not, we measure a 40 or 50k area flat. Therefore, if we got another person next to him to measure it flat, we wouldn't have any curve. No. Let's just start again. We measure Earth flat. Sorry, what was that? You thought there was some more to be discussed here? No. The minute you understand, that's not tell me, discuss, debate with me. Understand, like Dan now understands, that Earth is measured flat for 50k in terms of how much he's prepared to admit to, then that's the end of the discussion. There's no discussion beyond those measurements of Earth being flat. That's it. So how is Earth measured? Flat. Do I want to enter into a discussion about how ball-shaped it is? Not really. You've already confirmed that which we already knew, and you've confirmed it based on the measurements of Earth's surface when we survey Earth's surface. It is flat. That's the end of the discussion. There wasn't one. If we're surveying it flat and measuring it flat, then it's flat. It's not like it looks like a pig, it walks like a pig, it sounds like a pig, therefore it's a duck. No, it's a pig. In this case, a flat Earth we're measuring flat. Always, without exception. There's no logical inference beyond the measurements. Once you measure the surface flat, that's it. It's a done deal. You've measured it. Now, if you were to measure it ball-shaped, obviously this wouldn't be a discussion. I'd be saying, well, obviously it's ball-shaped. We measure the surface ball-shaped, but we don't measure the surface ball-shaped. We measure the surface flat. We survey the surface flat. We chart the surface flat. We navigate the surface flat. We fly across the surface with flight level flat. There's no exception. All of the measurements will always show you how Earth is measured flat. And all we'll get from our opponents is apologies or affirmations of those measurements, along with a string of ad homs telling us we don't understand how ball-shaped the measurements wouldn't need to be, as one example. Okay? You can tell me till you're blue in the face how they don't need to show the ball measurements, or that the ball measurements would be there if they hadn't been corrected away so that we don't see them. That's your nonsense, not mine. I'm done with it. I wash my hands of your nonsense. Meanwhile, we've got measurements. Earth's flat. It's done. We're good. We're okay. Thanks. We checked.
That's discussion done for us. Welcome to Flat Earth. But I'd be more than willing to listen to them argue between themselves whether, we're having we measured the curve type of day, or it's too big to measure, or if it's a negligible curvature day. I'd be more than willing to hear them discuss that between themselves, because it seems like they have a problem.
Well,
Not our problem. We're good.
Problem
But
they
in the
have
meantime,
is
they can enjoy the snacks in the back, because it's flat.
the problems they have, or they're calling us an echo chamber. Religious bullshit is no contradiction with sea level, just different definitions. There's only one definition of what level means.
How are we an echo chamber when they're saying the same thing we are? From the jump?
That's a good point.
You're literally telling us it's measured flat. Just, don't worry about this curvature we can't find. We're saying it's just flat. How are we echo chamber? You're saying the same thing we are. Are you guys all right?
Because they're appealing to different definitions of level, Chocolate. This is how humanity functions. There are more meanings of a word than just one.
Yeah, sure. Until you get into measuring things, then you've got axiomatic principles like parallel that are required. So in the case of Earth curve mathematics, if you're going to deny the surface level, sea level, is level, straight, then how will you have a parallel eye level to move forward in your mathematical derivation? You can't. The axiomatic principle of a surface level must remain straight and level, regardless of how it gets redefined when it's awkward because Earth gets measured flat at sea level, therefore it needs redefining. It's axiomatically tied to it. We keep telling you. You can't redefine how these things get measured. Yeah? You can't have bendy level. Yeah? It doesn't work when you do your maths. Yeah? It's on screen. Look. Eye level and surface level. Now, for your maths to function, you're not going to bend this, because then it's no longer parallel with this. Now, I understand that idiots we deal with don't understand words like parallel. What's that, bending? No. Yeah? Your maths fails if you bend axioms. Now, I don't, again, have to entertain your nonsense while you want to defy axiomatic principles. You can do that, bless your little cotton socks, all day long. I understand what level means. You don't have to tell me I don't understand and redefine what it means. Because it's utilised with axiomatic principles when you mathematise the level surface into curve. You need it to remain level. Now, when you bend it, your maths fails. The maths that gives you the illusion that you can measure Earth flat at surface level and then have a point below the surface level, measured and mathematised with the parallel eye level that you want to defy. It's all very bad for you, a baller, because you need Earth to be measured flat, even for your Earth curve assertions. It's right here on screen. Your Earth curve assertion comes with a heavy dose of measuring Earth flat. You don't have to like it, and as soon as you bend it, it don't work anymore.
Well, even when you say it has different meanings, like if I say to you, come on, Nathan, level with me. You say, I'm saying be straight with me. But what they're saying now is that we're invoking curvature with dip and with stars. We don't invoke no curvature.
So with dip angle measurement off surface level correcting for elevation angles. No, there were 3 flat Earth only sentences that won't work on a sphere because they're angles. But they are under the misapprehension that when we measure Earth flat, we're hijacking sphericity. No, we're just measuring angles off surface level. You don't believe me? Go ask Simon Dan or Dave McKeegan. Yeah, they know how to measure a flat Earth elevation angle. Yeah, they've done it. Just go and ask them. And they weren't angles, so you don't want them to be axiomatically 2 straight lines meeting at a vertex for elevation off the surface. You don't want them to be elevation angle measurements anymore. Oh, well, then you haven't got any Earth measurements. Oh, you like them. You're quite happy with your flat Earth only surface level part of the angle measurements. Then you've measured surface level as level. It's part of your measurement. Earth's flat then. Oh, you don't want them to be measurements anymore. They're just calculations. So you haven't got any Earth measurements. Oh, you have. You've got the elevation angles off surface level that's flat. So you've got a flat Earth surface level measurement then. Round and round we go. Meanwhile, there's only one endpoint. It is a surface level measurement. The surface level is part of the angle that Dave and Simon Dan measured. So they did, whether they like it or not, measure Earth flat. There's only 2 choices. Relinquish it as an Earth measurement, in which case they haven't got any Earth measurements, or accept that it's a surface level measurement for elevation. It's an elevation angle. And part of the angle is the surface level that they measured. Dan measured surface level. And so did Dave McKeegan. That's measure surface level. Feel free to deny your measurements. I don't give a crap. Earth's measured flat. We checked. You checked. Dave checked for you, ball believers. So did Simon Dan. So it's not Earth's flat, we checked. It's Earth's flat, you checked. I'm going to change the title of today's show. From Earth's flat, we checked, to Earth's flat, you checked.
Well, they're claiming that a sphere is a rotated circle.
Sorry, why are they telling you this?
Wow.
We've got Earth measurements. We don't need to be told anything by these religious Jehovah's Witness types that come along wanting to convert us back to the religion that we walked away from. We walked away from your silly globe cult, and we've got Earth measurements. So we're good, right? Oh, what? You still need to convince us we're on a ball? Why? Yeah? We don't want you Jehovah's Witness style. Yeah? We don't need your Scientology religion of balls in sky vacuums. You, that's ballers, are basically glorified Scientologists. You've got the same religion as them. Silly balls that the Roman Catholic Church gave you, flying around in sky vacuums. Yeah? The Roman Catholic Church gave you and the Scientologists the same religion. So keep your religion. We don't need you to come round to our front door anymore. This bar's still open. You can still come in, yeah? You can still come in and talk. But we don't need to hear you preach to us about your silly Scientology religion. Your silly Scientology balls in a sky vacuum with your aliens coming from far, far away, galaxies like in Star Wars, yeah? Earth is measured flat by everyone who's measuring it. We checked. You subsequently checked. Don't believe me? Ask Simon Dan what he measured 1,000 times, and he'll tell you. An Earth that is flat is required for the surface level part of his angle that was measured 1,000 times from a flat Earth surface level. There's no getting away from this, lads. No getting away from it. But stop trying to preach to us. We don't need your religion anymore. We've walked away from your religion just because it offends you that people don't want to be in your Scientology globe cult anymore. Yeah? You can be offended. We don't want any part of your religious bullshit anymore. We don't believe we're flying around the sun. We don't believe an Earth that's measured flat creates orbital motion, because it violates the base principle. Your religion of a ball Earth in a sky vacuum is based on flat Earth measurements that get violated by some of your stupid beliefs about flying around in sky vacuums as a ball shape. We're not. Earth was measured flat to create that stupid, nonsensical ball faith that you keep parroting at us like we need converting back to a religion we left. We left your stupid ball religion after we found out Earth was always being measured flat, including but not limited to your ball religion. It too requires Earth be measured flat, making your ball religion very silly. Now that we've walked away from it, we'd prefer if you stop nagging us to come back. Go away with the rest of your Scientology/heliocentric nonsense ball believers and have a little party away from us. Because all you seem to want to do is come and nag us to come back. Yeah? We're all right, thanks. We left your silly ball religion. We don't want to come back. You might get the odd one or two who can't bear to be apart from the cult, like Gyroscopes, who even gave himself a very culty-sounding name. Gyroscopes, yeah? Well, Gyroscopes went back to heliocentrism, like Scientology, a religion based on flat Earth measurements. Now, obviously, Jaron, being a religious type, was too stupid to actually measure Earth. Or maybe he didn't pay attention while his compadres over in Antarctica were measuring Earth flat with elevation angles. Maybe he just didn't notice. Who cares? He's obviously dumb. But you can keep him. Now he's come back to your religion. It doesn't mean we will. We will just stick with the measurements of Earth, thanks. It's flat. You checked. Yeah, thanks, Dan, for checking 1,000 times. Yeah, you figured it out now. Yeah? Oh, they weren't measurements of Earth's surface as a level for a part of the angle. Oh, you haven't got any Earth measurements then, Dan. Oh, you have? You've got the flat Earth only surface level part of the angle, elevation angle measurements to the sun. You made 1,000 times off a flat Earth. Welcome to flat Earth, Dan. Yeah? You checked. It's flat. Anything anybody wants to add? 80 people watching. Please smash the share button if you've not done so already. Good.
I'm of the same sentiment. So, great rant. Because it's true. Like, we're good. I'm good. I've been good on all that crap. I don't need any of that flying around and that vacuum crap. Like, are you serious? Why? And then you're going to tell us that and scold us for not believing it after telling us it's flat. Like, are you kidding? Well, who does things like that? You guys sound crazy. So, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, it's equivalent to somebody coming away from the Scientology cult and being told that now that they've left, they need to learn all about Xenu. Like, what? Well, you need to learn how, when we measure Earth flat, we suggest that gyroscopic motion isn't gyroscopic motion, it's drifting. And that self-correcting, non-gyroscopic fixed rigid in space motion that we appeal to that isn't gyroscopic motion means Earth's a ball. Now you can go and appeal to the other cult-like followers of the heliocentric religion that utilise flat Earth measurements to pretend you're on a flying, spinning water ball in a sky vacuum. But we're done. We don't need to learn more about our sky vacuums. Just don't apply the second law of thermodynamics to Earth. We don't need to know how we've got bendy levels when we're measuring the surface level. We don't need to know how violated the axiomatic principle of straight and level flight is when flying over sea level, because apparently gyros drift. Now, we're good. You idiots can convince yourself that gyros don't work as they're supposed to, because Earth's a ball according to you and your religion that was given to you by the Roman Catholic Church, alongside Scientologists who got the exact same religion. You can believe that because you are idiots. We walked away from your idiotic cult-like religion of a ball. Now you, half the time don't even believe you're priests of modern times like Tyson, who gets thrown under the bus all the time. You don't even believe your rhetoric of having two reference frames. I can hear Dan echoing out, "You and your reference frames are ruined." Yeah, are they? No, you and your cult that needs two reference frames are ruined when we don't see any effects of drift. So we are done with your stupid ball religion. We don't need it anymore. So stop coming here trying to convert us back to your silly ball religion. We understood the Earth was measured flat while we were arguing about it, and before there was a pretend argument created. Before any of that happened, Earth was being measured flat. While that was happening, Earth was being measured flat. And to create the ball to suggest there's an argument to have, they measured Earth flat to create that ball. So where's the argument? There isn't one. So just bugger off with your silly globe belief. We don't need it. We're done with it, thanks. That it? With that, I say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. But unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.